पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय मृत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च we can chant the second Valli now. Whoever is next. Who chanted last time?
Understood.
So let us chant begin to chant the Adhyaya Valli. Parikshya Shishyam
Parikshya Shishyam
Vidya Yogyatam Cha
Vidya Yogyatam Cha
Avagamya Aha
Avagamya Ahaha
Anyachreyaha
Anyachreyaha
Anyadutaiva Preyaha
Anyadutaiva Preyaha
Te Ubhe Nanarthe
Te Ubhe Nanarthe
Purusham Sinitaha
Purusham Sanitaha
Purusham Sinitaha
Purusham Sinitaha
Tayoho Shreyaha
Tayoho Shreyaha
Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati
Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati
Hiyaterthat
Hiyatethat
Ya Upreyo Vrinite.
Ya Upreyo Vrinite
Once again. Anyachreyonyadutaiva Preyaha
Anyacheyo Ayadutaiva Preyaha
Te Ubhe Nanarthe Purusham Sinitaha
Te Ubhe Nanarthe Purushassinitaha
Tayoho Shreya Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati
Tayoho Shreya Adadanasya Sadhu Sadhu Bhavati
Hiyaterthat Ya Upreyo Vrinite.
Hiyatethat Ya Upreyo Vrinite.
Yeah. So we completed the first Valli. There are two chapters called Adhyayas in Kathopanishad. We started with the Prathamaha Adhyaya, first chapter. Each chapter has three Vallis, three sections, which are called Valli. Each Upanishad has a particular way of calling these things. So in this case, it's called Adhyaya and Valli. And so we have 6 Vallis, of which we completed the first Valli. We're just starting the second Valli, Dvitiya Valli of the first Adhyaya, first chapter. So we saw in this first chapter, rather the first Valli, we saw the story developing. And then 3 boons were asked, and then Yama, of course, granted the 2 boons. And third boon is not yet granted. Third boon was asked, and Shankaracharya told us that Yama is examining the student. See, Yama has not yet started teaching, therefore Nachiketa is not yet a student. Only when the teaching begins, we will know that there is a teacher and a student. But so far, no teaching has started. And earlier he did say, Shankaracharya said that Yama is examining Nachiketa, like that he said. So here, look at the Sambandha Bhashya. Parikshya Shishyam Vidya Yogyatam Cha Avagamya Ah. Pariksha karke, having examined whom? Shishyam. So Shishyam. So in Shankara's mind, Nachiketa is already a Shishya. The minute you ask a question, he, he's going to become a Shishya, and he's okay already a Shishya also. You send the application form, Once the application form is sent, what do you call that applicant? So that's a question. So Shishyam Pariksha, having examined the student. Okay. Vidya Yogyatam cha Avagamya. Avagamya, having understood. Having understood well. Understood what well? Vidya Yogyatam cha. Having understood the qualifications of the Shishya. योग्यता है कि नहीं for this particular knowledge. Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya Yogyatam Avagamya. Having understood that about this boy, about the qualification of this boy. And how do we know that? What kind of examinations were done here? Okay, so 1.1.21 and 1.1.22. 21 was where Yamadharmaraja replied to the bone, third bone. What did he say? Devairatrapi vichikitsitam pura. Like that he said. Okay. No, this is something that, people, Indradi also did not understand. So that, like that he was said. Then response to that, 1.1.22, Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila. Responded like a judo response, using the force of Yama to return it back to him. And so that told, or that indicated the mumukshutvam, jignasa, desire to know so much that he said, yeah, exactly, that's exactly the reason why I want to know. Because the devas were confused, I want to know that. So their mumukshutvam, jignasa was expressed, of Nachiketa was expressed, or was uh, demonstrated. Okay. Then 23 Shatayushav Purushaha, like that he says, 23 to 25, three mantras, Vairagyam of Nachiketa, right? Vairagyam. So I'll give you all these children, um, I'll give you all the, music and dance and everything, he said. So that ordinary mortals cannot even imagine. And he said no to that. And so Vairagyam, Nachiketa's Vairagyam was demonstrated through that. Then what happened? 26 to 28. Okay. Um, 26 onwards, Nachiketa's response, Shvo Bhava. So whatever you offered, hey ma, these are all these are all things that create a doubt in the human being that whether these things exist tomorrow or not. And so Anityatvam of all the things offered by Yama was demonstrated, which means Viveka. Viveka. Atma Anatma Viveka. Yeah, whatever you offered is all anatma. Agreed? They're all good things, nice, useful things, no doubt. But they're all anatma and they're anityam. So these important qualifications of Nachiketa, namely Jignasa, Viveka, and Vairagya, were demonstrated in the previous Valli. Okay? So now it takes a turn. The story takes a turn. Okay, and no longer there is a this Q&A and debate and all that is over. Pariksha, that's why Shankaracharya says pariksha, having examined. Okay, so that means no more examination passed. Okay, and so this first mantra, shreyaha preyaha, Yamadharmaraja introduces two important words which we keep referring to in our Vedanta classes very often. One and two especially we refer to. So the Shreyas and Preyas, very important words, which become important as we study the Shastra further and further. So before we explain that, the first 13 mantras of this Valli, second Valli, okay, is going to praise the student, Shishya, is going to praise the Guru of this particular Vidya, because such a rare Vidya, and therefore the person who chooses to teach this also is a rare person. Therefore, Yama is going to praise the teacher, and Yama is going to praise the Shastram, that Shastram which allows this to happen is also going to be praised. Okay, and then of course the phalam of this knowledge, namely moksha phalam, also will be praised from 1 to 13, and then 14 is another grand statement from Nachiketa. Nachiketa reminds Yama, all this is great, but don't forget what I asked you. Okay, all this is great, and this is nothing new to me. Okay, and so that is number 14, and 15 onwards Yama starts. Okay, Yama said that's okay, all right, let's get started. Like that he goes. So that's how the layout is of this Adhyaya is going to be. Okay, so Shreyas and Prayas is going to be introduced by Yama in this mantra. So we already know that in our Bhagavad Gita class, we've said it several times. So for the sake of um, everybody's benefit, Purusharthas, four Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Four Purusharthas. So this Purushartha is excellent for us, a starting point for us. And whenever we start our Vedanta classes, we start with this topic. And so that the student is clear about, the student may not have analyzed the pursuit life in this manner, but the Purusharthas brings that analysis together, completes the analysis to some extent. And what am I seeking? And so Dharma, Artha, and Kama, they come under the category of prayas, okay, prayas. And then this moksha comes under the category of Shreyas. Shreyas relatively means greatest good is Shreyas. And in Vedanta, it becomes the greatest good becomes moksha. Moksha is the greatest good, obviously. And so Shreyas and Prayas are introduced here. And two, two meanings. One is, okay, Prayas is what? Dharma, Artha, and Kama, security and pleasure, and Punya, Papa, Dharma. Okay, and these are all things I want. I want these things. Therefore, that's what I'm seeking. So, what I'm seeking becomes called prayers. And what are the means I use to seek that? Well, I do various things to seek these things. Those doing various things is called karma, action. Through action only, through doing things only, I seek or I get artha and kama. So the word prayers can be used for both. For both what? The sadhya. What I'm going to get is also called prayers, dharma, artha, kama. What I use to get the artha, dharma, artha, and kama is also called prayers. The sadhanam is also called prayers based on context. The phalam, the sadhyam, the benefit is also called prayers. Likewise, depending on context, what I'm going to get moksha is also called shreyas, and the means to get the moksha, jnanam, is also called shreyas based on context. Okay, so here in this mantra, uh, sadhanam, shreyas and prayas refers to sadhana, the means. And so, what is the means for this dharmartha kama? So we split it out, right? Four purusharthas, three come under the category of prayas, because they can be gained only by karma. Jnanam cannot give you artha. Okay, simply at watching a 1 hour YouTube video on how to invest in the post-pandemic era, okay, is not going to not enough for you. You have to act on it. You have to do something about whatever you sought out for, and then spend some time on it and money on it, and risk some of your money. Only then you might get some result. Well, you will get some result for sure, no doubt about that. What kind of result it is, only you will know after some time. And so, therefore, you have to do karma. So you have to cook. And simply knowledge of this great recipe is not enough to get the karma or artha. And so all these things involve karma, kriya, kriya. Punya papam I want punya papam, and therefore kriya has to be done. Effort has to be expended. So these things come under the category of prayers. And because I have to expend karma, the result is called karma phalam, result of karma. Karmanaha phalam, karma phalam. And because karma is limited, action is limited, activity is finite, karma phalam also has to be finite. So these are all characteristics of praise. Okay, and uh, and because karma is finite and karma phalam is finite. Okay, I was about to say finite. Okay, so it's finite, and therefore karma and karma phalam are anityam. Anityam, finite. Nityam, finite. Sanskrit word, not eternal. The results of karma can never last forever. Okay, this we are crystal clear about. But the human being is seeking something nitya palam, constantly seeking that is permanent. I want to be happy now, later, and forever into the future. And regardless of the situation, that desire is eternality, permanence. And so that permanence is what moksha gives. And so, but moksha cannot be therefore a result of karma, because karma being finite, karma being anityam, its result cannot be nityam, it is always anityam. Therefore, jnanena moksha. What did Shankara say in one place? Param chet jnatavyam, aparam chet praptavyam. Param, anityam chet, if what you're looking for is anityam, then kartavyam, you have to do something. If whatever you want is finite, you have to do something. You have to accomplish that finite thing. Okay, doing. And this is the only thing we know. Do, accomplish, do, accomplish, do, accomplish, do, accomplish. What I accomplished is good, and then it's lost. Then my car has become old, or my vehicle has become old, I have to buy another. Okay, do, accomplish, do. This is all we know. But moksha is not in that category, Advaita Vedanta says. Why? Because moksha is param. Param cannot be a result of karma. Param chet jnatavyam. Correct? If you want the infinite, then you can't produce the infinite from finite action. Infinite must already be there. First of all, it can't be created. Even Bhagavan cannot create infinite. Okay, infinite must already be there. That self-existent vastu, that is Atma, that is Brahma. And if I want that, then the only possibility is I am already that Param, and I just don't know that fact, a very important fact. So, Jnanena mokshaha param chet jnatavyam. This is the important difference. And that jnanam is also called shreyaha or shreyas, which is the means for what is called moksha, and that moksha is also called shreyas based on context. Okay, this must be clear to us, shreyas and prayas. Okay, so now our friend Yama is introducing these two words, and the gist of the mantra is this: Anyat Shreyaha, Anyat Uta Eva Preyaha. There are two things, Shreyas and Preyas. Hey Nachiketa, there are two things. And these two are Anyat. Anyat means they are different. Different from each other. They don't intersect. They separate. Separate. Okay. Te ubhe nanarthe purusham sinitaha. These two, Shreyas and Preyas, attract make the Purusha, make the person seek those respective things, Shreyas and Prayas. Okay. And based on what the person wants. If the person wants Dharmartha Kama Prayas, then it makes the person pursue that Prayo Margaha, if you want to call that. Or if the person wants moksha, then it takes the person into the path of moksha called moksha margaha, shreyo margaha. Okay, so in our Ashaseva Kendram, Srinivasanji teaches classes, and he calls one certain set of classes as Shreyo Marga. For children, there is a Shreyo Marga class. For adults also, there is a Shreyo Marga class. So that Shreyas is there here. Okay. Then Tayoho Shreyaha Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati. Sadhu Bhavati. Beneficial. Beneficial. What is beneficial? Shreyaha. Tayoho Shreyaha. Of those two, Shreyas and Preyas, Shreyaha Sadhu Bhavati. Shreyaha is beneficial. Beneficial to whom? Adadanasya. For the one who chooses Shreyas, then Sadhu Bhavati, it is going to be beneficial for that person. And then what? Hiyate arthat yahu preyo vrinite. But what about the one yaha u preyo vrinite? One who chooses prayers, what happens? Okay. Arthat hiyate. Parama Purusharthat hiyate. Hiyate means separated from, alienated from. The person who chooses prayers is separated from moksha. Arthat. Artha here means Parama Purusharthat. Paramarthikat, Shankaracharya will say. So from that Parama Purushartha called moksha, the person is separated. That is the gist of this mantra. Just introducing Shreyas and Prayas. Okay. And the importance of Shreyas. Okay. Let's read the Bhashyam now. Lakshmi. Anyat पृथग् एव
अन्यत् पृथक् एव
श्रेयो निःश्रेयसम्
श्रेयो निःश्रेयसम्
तथा अन्यत्
तथा अन्यत्
उत अपि एव
उत अपि एव
प्रेयः प्रियतरम् अपि
प्रेयः प्रियतरम् अपि
ते प्रेयश्रेयसि
ते प्रेयश्रेयसि
उभे नानार्थे भिन्नप्रयोजने
उभे नानार्थे भिन्नप्रयोजने.
Yeah, that preyashreyasi in your notebook, it will be shreyah preyasi. So we can stick with shreyah preyasi. Sati
सति
purusham adhikritam
पुरुषम् अधिकृतम्
varnashramaadi vishishtam
वर्णाश्रमादिविशिष्टम्
sinitah badhnitah.
सिनीतः बध्नीतः.
Yeah. So the first half of this mantra is explained from Anyat till Sinitah. Shankaracharya is explaining now. Anyat, Anyat, Prithak. Shankaracharya says Prithak, Prithak. Prithak means different, distinct, distinct. Shreyas is distinct. Okay, Anyat Prithak eva Shreyaha. And what is Shreyaha? Nishreyasam. And same thing, Nishreyasam. Most beneficial. Most beneficial. If somebody says most beneficial, everything we compare is relative only. Relative only. Most useful, if somebody says. Give two or three options, I can choose what is most useful for me. That is what we choose. These are relative usefulness. Here, Nishreyasaha, when the word is used, most means absolutely useful. Nothing can be better than that. Nothing can be better than Shreyas. There is indication here. And so here Shreyas is Sakaranta Napumsakalingam, neutral gender, Shreyas. And so Prathama Vibhakti, Shreyaha, Shreyasi, Shreyamsi. Like Manas, Sakaranta Napumsakam, Manaha, Manasi, Manamsi. Like that it works. Okay? Both Preyas and Shreyas are like that. Okay. So Shreyas is certainly distinct and different. Then Tata Anyad Uta Api Eva Preyaha Priyataram Api. Preyaha also is Anyat. Preyaha Anyat. Shankaracharya, Preyaha is all he explains there. Uta is Api. Also, Preyaha also is different. Preyaha also is different. Very distinct from Shreyas. Okay, very distinct. And what is that? Priyataram. Preya is very pleasurable, he says. Priyataram. More pleasant. Taram. Taram means more, comparative degree. Okay. Priyataram, more pleasant, more priya. More priya than Shreyas. Prayas is most beneficial. But I mean, Shreyas is most beneficial. But prayas is very pleasing and pleasant. You know, the medicine is most beneficial for you right now. You have a sore throat, you have a fever is coming and going, it's been 4 days. And so you have to pay attention to your body, right? But all these goodies that people are getting, etc. What happens? Diwali, this, that, so many sweets are all coming. How about that? That's very pleasurable. That's prayers. Shreyas is medicine. You got to swallow all these pills. Okay. So, like that. Okay. Tata anyat uta api eva preyaha priyataram api. Similarly, prayers is distinct, but more pleasing and pleasurable, pleasant, attractive. Okay. Te श्रेयः प्रेयसी उभे नानार्थे भिन्न प्रयोजने. Let's put a comma there or a full stop there. Te is what? Those two. Okay. So Upanishad is saying te now. So because this is Napumsakam, right? Tat te tani. Tat te tani. So that te is Napumsakam, right? Prathama Vibhakti Dvivachanam te. So and what are this? Te Shankaracharya helps us. Shreyah Preyasi. Shreyas Preyasi is better than Preyas Shreyasi. Both are identical because Shreya is used first, and therefore Shreyas Preyasi. Okay, Shreyas and Preyas. Again, that is Prathama Vibhakti Dvivachanam. Those two. Ubhe, those two. Ubhe also means those two. Nanarthe Bhinna Prayojane. Moolam says Nanarthe. Nana means different, manifold, multifaceted, literal meaning for Nana. Okay, Nana Arthe means what? Those which have different benefits. That is Nana Arthe. And Shankaracharya is explaining that. Bhinna Prayojane. Bhinna. Bhinna, distinct, different. The Shreyas and Prayas will, they are going to produce different results, different things. How we know they are different? Well, we know that prayers produces dharma, artha, and kama. Shankaracharya does not explain that. And Shreyas will produce a different benefit called moksha. These are all different benefits. How do we know they are different? Well, there are four purusharthas, and these purusharthas are different, and therefore different benefits. Bhinna prayojane. You can say, you can put the word staha. Staha. Asti staha santi. Staha. They are different. Shreyas and prayers are different, or they have different benefits. Okay, full stop. Now you can add another word in brackets called evam, and then let's chant. I think we've not covered, right? Yeah. No, no, we studied, we read that. Okay. So let's do that. Evam, just add the word evam before sati. Evam sati, and then add the word te. Te varnashramadi vishishtam sinitaha. और ते पुरुषम अधिकृतम वर्णाश्रमादि विशिष्टम सिनीतः बध्नीतः. Te badritaha. That is a sentence here. Those two bind. Those two, by attracting the human being, automatically those two bind. Sinitaha means badritaha. Sinitaha. Si dhatu. Like Kri dhatu. Some of Sanskrit students will be aware of this. Okay. Krinati. Okay. Krinati. Purushaha. Balakaha. Apanam gatva. This one. Pustakam Krinati. Krinati. That same Krinati. Sinati. Krinati. Krinitaha. Krinanti. Like that. Sinati. Sinitaha. Sinanti. Okay. Bind. Shankaracharya says bind. Those two bind. And bind whom? Adhikritam Purusham. Adhikritam Purusham. This Adhikrita is a very interesting word in our Shastra. Purusham Sinitaha. This human being, it binds. That I can understand. But what kind of person? Adhikritam. The person who is qualified to seek that, respective that. Okay. So, for all these things, we have to be qualified. How? You mean you have to be qualified to seek security? I didn't know that. And I thought secure Kama and Artha is available for anybody. What is that? What is this qualification and all that? Well, Artha and Kama. So this is a Varnashramadi. You have to look into the Vedic lifestyle. So Vedic lifestyle, there is a 4 ashramas are there, Brahmacharya, and then Grihastha, etc. Varna ashramadi. And so each ashrama has special qualification. And so Punya Papa needed means Sandhya Vandan. Brahmachari has to do Sandhya Vandan. Sandhya Prarthana has to be done. Okay. And then after marriage, further Homadi are available. Nitya Agnihotra Karma is there. And that will give even additional Punya and Papa and additional security because of which. So therefore, Brahmachari cannot do Agnihotra Adi Karma. Brahmachari can do only Brahmachari Karma, and which is very limited. Grihastha means all the entire world of karma becomes open for the Grihastha in a Vedic lifestyle. Therefore, Shankaracharya is saying, Varnashramadi Vishishtam Adhikritam Purusham. A person who is in this Varnashrama framework, okay, and qualified by the Varnashrama, that person will be qualified Adhikritam to gain Artha, Kama, Dharma, because Punyam Papam. And only limited punyam papam for the brahmachari. Brahmachari cannot gain much punyam papam. Okay? But rasta means suddenly the whole world is open. And then, therefore, by the human being, human being qualified by Varnashrama framework, based on the particular stage of life that person is bound by either Shreyas or Preyas. Okay? That is what this one is saying. Okay, now let's read the next one. Evam sati. See, sati means this being so. This being so. What being so? This Shreyas and Preyas being bhinna prayojane. This being so. They attract the human being, they bind the human being. Like that being said. Okay, next. Tabhyam
Tabhyam
vidya avidyabhyam
Vidya Avidyabhyam
atma kartavyataya
Atma Kartavyataya
prayujyate sarvah purushah
Prayujyate Sarvah Purushaha
Shreyah preyasoho
Shreya Preyasoho
hi
Hi
abhyudaya amrutatvarthi
Abhyudaya Amrudatvarthi
purushah pravartate
Purusha Pravartate
taha
Ataha
श्रेयः प्रेयः प्रयोजनकर्तव्यतया
श्रेय प्रेय प्रयोजन कर्तव्यतया
ताभ्यां बद्धः
ताभ्यां बद्धः
इत्युच्यते सर्वः पुरुषः.
इत्युच्यते सर्वः पुरुषः.
Yeah. Continuing the same first half of the mantra, Bhashyam. Tabhyam. Tabhyam. Atmakartabhyam vidya vidyabhyam. Your Gita Press will not have the word vidya vidyabhyam. Your notes will have it. So, sarvaha purushaha prayujyate. Being attracted by shreyas and prayers, sarvaha purushaha, it's ekavachanam, but it means all people. Sarvaha, all, purushaha is person, but here sarvaha, all people. Called jati ekavachanam in Sanskrit. Jati ekavachanam means what? People. If I ask you people, is it singular or plural? If I ask you, what will you say? If you say plural, then what about peoples? People word is singular only, but it refers to a group of persons, individuals, and therefore that being a group, it is covers everybody. Sarvaha Purusha means all human beings. Okay. So jati ekavachanam. Okay. Sarvaha Purushaha prayujyate. And then therefore all people are activated, impelled to pursue one of these two approaches, Shreyas and Prayas. That's what he's saying. Tabhyam vidya vidyabhyam atma kartavyataya prayujyate. These two Shreyas and Prayas, Tabhyam means by those two. Okay. By those two. Again, Tritiya Vibhakti, Dvivachanam, right? We rarely see Dvivachanam. Here there's an opportunity to see Dvivachanam, Tabhyam. So what are those two? Vidya, Avidya, Bhyam. Very, very significant word. He could have said Shreyas Preyo Bhyam, Shreyo Preyo Bhyam. And he is saying that Vidya, Vidya, Bhyam. He is saying Shreyas is Vidya. Basis of Shreyas is Vidya. Why? Because Moksha is Jnanena Mokshaha. Therefore, Vidya governs the Marga of Shreyas. And what about Karma? Karma Marga. Avidya. Prayer marga is avidya marga. Why? Because avidya, because of avidya, I have kama, and because of kama, I do karma, and karma gives me karma phalam. Karma phalam gives me punarjanma. Punarjanma is only reinforces avidya, and therefore karma phalam, etc., etc. Kama, karma, karma. And it is sustained by avidya. Therefore, that dharmartha Kama Marga is called what? Pravritti Marga, and it is called Avidya. Shankaracharya uses the word Avidya. Okay, this is this. Okay, next. Shreya Preyasoho Hi Abhyudaya Amritatvarthi Purushaha Pravartate. Yeah, so once the human being is chosen that path, then what happens? Then Purusha pravartate. Same sentence again. Purusha pravartate means the human being, the person engages in that pursuit. Pravartate engages in that pursuit. And pursuit is what? Both pursuits. Shreyaha preyasoho. Abhyudaya amritatvarthi. Arthi, the one who desires something. And what does the one desire? Either Abhyudaya palam or Amritatva palam. Amritatva palam is moksha palam. Abhyudaya palam is this karma palam. Abhyudaya. Literal meaning of Abhyudaya is what? That which you can get quickly. It's called Abhyudaya. Okay? Abhi Udaya. Abhi Udaya hota hai. Abhi. Doesn't take long. Karma, to give karma palam doesn't take long. But this Amritatvam, it requires a little effort. And so, Abhyudaya Amritatvarti. It requires effort, but remember, it's not karma palam. But means what? It is therefore called Nivritti Margaha. I did not mention this before. Now I am telling it. Pravritti Margaha, Dharmartha Kama, Nivritti Margaha. Pravritti means karma, karma margaha. Karma is required, activity. Nivritti, retreat. You retreat from karma. You retreat because you recognize that no amount of doing is going to give me this immortality, this moksha, and therefore it's called Nivritti Marga. Jnana Marga is called what? Nivritti Marga. Yeah. So here he is using the word Abhyudayam for that Pravritti Marga and Amritatvam for Nivritti Marga. And this person is made to engage in one of these two, Shreyas and Preyas. Okay. Ataha श्रेयः प्रेयः प्रयोजनकर्तव्यतया ताभ्यां बद्धः इति उच्यते सर्वः पुरुषः. So the main sentence is what? Sarvaha Purushaha Baddaha iti uchyate. Sarvaha Purushaha. All beings, all human beings, animals excluded. Okay, animals you can include, but they don't have free will. So Sarvaha Purushaha Baddaha are bound iti uchyate. Therefore, it is said that all people are bound. Tabhyam. Okay, Shreyas Prayobhyam. Okay, bound by these two Shreyas and Prayas. And by this Shreyas Prayas Prayojana Kartavyataya. Seeking the benefits of Shreyas and Prayas. Obviously, I seek Prayas because I know what I'm going to get out of it, and I seek Shreyas also because I know what I'm going to get out of it. Okay? So therefore, with that knowledge of the benefit, every human being is going to pursue one of these two. Okay? Yeah, let's read the next one.
Anvaya
Te-
not
te-
Anvaya not done.
what is it?
Anvaya not done.
The Bhashyam itself not done now. Huh?
Sorry.
Okay. Only one line. We have completed the first line of the mantra, first half. So there's still more left. Okay. Te yadyapi
ते यद्यपि
ekaika
एकैका
purushartha sambandhini
पुरुषार्थसम्बन्धिनी
vidya avidya rupatvat
विद्या अविद्यारूपत्वात्
viruddhe iti
विरुद्धे इति
anyatara aparityagena
अन्यतर अपरित्यागेन
ekena purushena
एकेन पुरुषेण
saha anushtatum ashakyatvat
सह अनुष्ठातु अशक्यत्वात्
अनुष्ठातुम् अशक्यत्वात्
अनुष्ठातुम् अशक्यत्वात्
तयोः
तयोः
हित्वा अविद्यारूपं प्रेयः
हित्वा अविद्यारूपं प्रेयः
प्रेयः एव
श्रेयः एव
केवलम् आददानस्य
केवलम् आददानस्य
उपादानं कुर्वतः
उपादानं कुर्वतः
साधु शोभनं शिवं भवति.
साधु शोभनं शिवं भवति.
Yeah. So, te यद्यपि एकैक पुरुषार्थ संबंधिनी विद्या विद्या रूपत्वात् विरुद्धे. Let's stop there. Viruddhe bhavata. So viruddhe bhavata. The shreyas and preyas are opposed to each other. Viruddham. Opposed to each other. Why? Because benefits are different. Number one. Sadhanam is also different. One is karma sadhanam, other is moksha sadhanam. And therefore, Shankaracharya has already used the word vidya for one and avidya for the other. And therefore, they are viruddham. They are opposite to each other. Okay. And despite ekaika purushartha sambandhini, despite them being having a benefit. Ekaika Purushartha Sambandhani. There is a Purushartha. Shreyaha will take me to moksha. Preyaha will give me dharmartha and kama. And therefore, they have specific ends. They are not just random things. Okay. So they are very specific and very clear. And despite, and so they are opposite to each other. Okay. Okay. They are opposite. Te yadyapi. Yadyapi means even though. Even though. Even though individually they have their specific benefits, specific goals, okay, that Shreyas and Preyas, then what? Iti ekena purushena anyatara aparityagena saha anushtatum ashakyatva. Tayoho hitva avidyarupam preyaha Shreyaha eva kevalam adadanasya upadanam kurvata sadhu shobhanam shivam bhavati. Okay, let's start from the verb. Last, go to the end. Sadhu Shobhanam Shivam Bhavati. Shivam Mangalam Bhavati. Auspicious, most beneficial Bhavati. Sadhu means what? Shankaracharya says Shobhanam Shivam. Sadhu Bhavati. Most beneficial. What is most beneficial? Shreyaha eva kevalam. Kevalam. Keval Shreya. Okay. Shreyas alone is most beneficial. Okay. For whom? For adadanasya. For the one who does adadanam. Adadanam kurvataha. Shankaracharya says kurvataha shashti eka vachanam kurvat. Okay. Shatru pratyaya kridatu. Okay. So for the one who takes to Shreyas, the best thing will happen. So the benefit of Shreyas Moksha will happen. That is what is being. One who takes to Shreyas alone, Kevalam. Okay, Kevalam. The word Kevala is used there. Make note there. And so, then what happened? And then what? Tayoho avidya rupam preya hitva. When can this person pursue Shreyas to gain that greatest benefit? Well, hitva avidya rupam preya hitva. Among the two tayoho, among the two, preyaha hitva eva. The person has to give up the pursuit of dharma artha kama. Very important it is. The person has to give up dharma artha kama and then take to moksha. That person alone, the greatest benefit comes. But this is bit hard to understand because you're telling me to give up dharma, artha, and kama so that I can get moksha. Why not get dharma, artha, kama, and moksha? Everything, we need everything. Why not? Sab milke, let's take everything. Yeah, sab milke and all you can take. But then Shankaracharya is saying, ekena purushena anyatara aparityagena saha anushtatum ashakyatva. That's the Advaita Vedanta $1,000,000 topic here. Okay, he's saying by the same person, it is not possible to pursue Shreyas and Preyas at the same time. Okay, this is what he's saying. He's making a very bold statement here. Hey, wait a minute. I thought we are pursuing more Shreyas here in this class, and for the last so many years also some of us are pursuing, and for the last so many decades also some of us are pursuing, and Dharmartha Kama is also in parallel going on. Because we're all grahasthas, we're not sannyasis here, and so dharma, artha, kama, and shreyas, moksha, everything is being pursued. Acharya says, my dear friend, to pursue prayers, one must be a karta, one must do karma, and to do karma, one has to be a karta. Karta means free will must be there. The one with free will only can say, I did something and I got something. Correct? Yes or no? Yeah. So okay, some heads are shaking. Okay, because I've been talking almost for an hour now. And so, yeah, exactly. So that agency must be there. Without agency, there is no karma phala. That's why animals have no karma phala. Their activities are all based on instincts. And so there is no kartrutvam, absolutely. Therefore, no karma phalam. They are only exhausting their punya papa karma. Exhausting all the way to the end of their life. Nothing new is gained. Why nothing new is gained? Because kartrutvam is not there. But yahan par to, if I am going to get something, I have to be a karta, and I am a karta, no doubt. I am a karta. Therefore, I can get karma phalam. Therefore, I can get dharma, artha, and kama, which is called prayers. But then, what about moksha? What about the shreya margaha? Well, shreya margaha, what it is doing is, it is talking about atma, which is akarta. It is saying Atma is akarta, my dear. You have taken yourself to be a karta. Okay, some kartritvam is there, and you got all these things, and you got carried away by that, thinking that you are a karta. You are fundamentally you are not a karta. Atma is not a karta. Atma doesn't get anything. Atma need not get anything. Okay, the body, the ahankara has taken itself to be a karta. Therefore, when the doership itself is going to be taken away by this Shreya Marga, Shreya Marga is going to remove my Kartrutvam. It is not going to remove Atma's Kartrutvam because Atma doesn't have any Kartrutvam. But this mistaken I, who thinks I am a Karta, fundamentally I am a Karta, I am a doer, I have to make it in this world, I have to survive, I have to compete, and I'm going to get finished, I need to help myself, I need to save myself. This I says that I is akarta. So the seeker of prayers is a karta. The seeker of shreyas is akarta. But then wait, I am studying. There's a lot of free will involved in coming to class. There's a lot of free will involved in. You know how much effort Guruji I'm spending in these things, and it's good, interesting, and I have to study. Even reviewing the class is taking more time than attending the class. Attending the class is only 1 hour and 15 minutes, but review and all is abhyasa class is 1 hour, and to prepare for the abhyasa class is another 1 hour, and so this is going on and on. So much effort is being spent. People are all screaming at me in my family. They're saying, "What is it? You're sitting in this book and all the time, and we go buy all these things, and I'm not even listening to them." So much is going on, and you're telling me this is all akarta? No, kartritvam is very much there. All that is, of course, based on the karta, but fundamentally, the karta has no role to play in this knowledge. We've been doing this nididhyasanam for the past few weeks. What is a nididhyasanam? There is no free will has no role to play when a pramanam is operating. Pramanam, eyesight, eyesight operating. What free will do you have? You don't have any free will to, to say what the eyes are going to report. What eyes are going to report, you have to handle it. You may like it, you may not like it, you can turn your head this way, that way. But eyes are going to report whatever is there in front of the eyes. It means no free will involved in eyesight, no free will involved in hearing. Okay. In closing the ears, I have free will. That free will is used. But in tasting, what free will is involved? In placing something in the mouth, free will is involved. But once something is placed on the tongue, you have to accept whatever the tongue reports is what tongue reports based on the object that is placed on the tongue. That's it. You can't decide what the taste of that is going to be. You have chosen that object based on your past history and your knowledge, memory of that object. Oh, this particular gulab jamun, I know how it's going to taste, and therefore I use free will to put it here. But you might say it has very little sweet. You should put a little more sugar into this. Why? Why did you say that? You can say that, but that's because no free will is involved in tasting itself. Even though in normal conversations we say we saw this, I did this, I heard this, etc. We say, which is okay. But no free will is involved in operation of the pramana. Okay, very important point. Okay, we'll refer to that periodically. That's something to note. And therefore, he says, Anyatara aparityagena, parityaga, giving up, sacrificing, aparityagena, without sacrificing what? Anyatara, without sacrificing the other, it is not possible to pursue this. So it means if I am going to pursue prayers, I have to sacrifice Shreyas. If I am going to pursue Shreyas, I have to sacrifice prayers. Correct? Got it? Yeah. So it's an important idea. Because of this separation, there's a wall between prayers and Shreyas. That is the meaning. And because of that particular nature, then tayoho avidya rupam preyaha hitva Shreyaha eva kevalam adadanasya sadhu bhavati. Because of that reason, because of the reason that Shreyas and prayers are cannot be mutually pursued by the same person at the same time, the person who takes to Shreyas is the one who is going to benefit most. Which means what? Person takes to prayers and Shreyas, all these combinations are not possible. That is what Shankaracharya is saying here. Okay? Yeah. Let's read the next one.
Can I?
You want to read?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Peter.
So is it Hariji's turn now?
Yes. Hari.
Actually, it is we are going to LMN, so that was a sequence.
Okay. Then I. No problem.
So this is not a choice based on you. It is based on alphabetical order.
No, I have not done since almost 2 months. Okay, no problem. No, I abide.
Okay, Prasanna. Yaha tu
Yah tu
aduradarshi
aduradarshi
vimudaha hiyate
vimudaha hiyate
viyujyate
viyujyate
tasmat
kasmat
arthat purusharthat
arthat purusharthat
paramarthikat
paramarthikat
prayojanat
prayojanat
नित्यात् प्रच्यवते इत्यर्थः
nityat pratyavata ityarthaha
कः असौ
kaha asau
य उप्रेयो वृणीते
yau preyo vrinhite.
दत्ते इत्यर्थः
Can you repeat that, please?
उपादत्ते इत्यर्थः
Upadatte ityarthaha. There were
इत्येतत् इत्येतत्
iti etat.
so that vrinite upadatte, so that's because sandhi you will see vrinita and upadatta, so grammatically they are correct. But the actual words are what? Vrinite, which comes in the moolam, which means upadatte. Okay? These are all sandhi. So those sandhi rules are there, which makes all these things happen. So Shankaracharya is concluding that last quarter, hiyate arthat, is explaining. So he talked in the third quarter, he talked about the one who takes to Shreyas, one who chooses Shreyas. He talked about that, gets the greatest benefit. Now he's saying what? Look at the moolam. Yau preyo vrinite. What about the one who chooses preyaha? That is what he's talking about. Okay. Yaha tu aduradarshi vimudaha hiyate viyujyate. Let's put a full stop after viyujyate. This aduradarshi vimudaha, the one who is duradarshi means what? One who can see a long distance. Means one who can see, read between the lines, one who can see what does not meet the eye. See what more than meets the eye. One who can see what's life all about, and he can see that there is something called anatma, which is very different from, atma, which is very different from anatma. All that, okay, that is Duradarshi. Aduradarshi, Yahatu Aduradarshi, Vimudaha, and that person is a Vimudaha. So remember, Mudaha means we cannot translate this word Mudaha as fool and all, because the word fool is already used up in our local colloquial language. He's a fool, she's a fool, and all. When we say, it applies to some laukika aspect, some aspect. Okay, this person is a fool because he did not take advantage of the tax rebates given by the government. Something like that. Fool means what? Hey, this is basic. All you have to do is say, I'm a citizen, here is my number, give me my benefit. That's all you have to say. So he is a fool. Like that is. So, yahan par mudha, you can't translate as fool. You have to translate as what? Aviveki, one who does not have the viveka between Atma and Anatma. That is all Mudaha means. Otherwise, you see translations, unintelligent person, foolish person. All these words don't communicate at all. Okay, because those words mean something else in our common parlance. Okay, so Aduradarshi, Shankaracharya, Aduradarshi, one who is unable to see more than what meets the eye, one who takes all these things that happen as paramarthikam, as absolutely real, and there is nothing more beyond this. That person, hiyate, that is in the moolam, hiyate, viyujyate, passive voice. That person is separated. That person is alienated. That person is removed. That person is divorced. Okay, that is meaning. That person is divorced. Okay, full stop. Then Shankaracharya asked the question, Kasmat? From what? Separated from what? It's good because now we understand a little Sanskrit by this language. Kasmat, question mark you can put after that. See, Shankaracharya doesn't put question mark and all that. In Gita Press, in fact, it says Asmat. So I have scratched that and put Kasmat. Okay. Kasmat, question mark, from what that person is separated. Arthat, Purusharthat, Paramarthikat, Prayojanat, Nityat. Look at this. All of them Panchami. Okay. Panchami. From Purushartha. And what kind of Purushartha? Paramarthikat means the ultimate Purushartha. And Prayojanat, from the benefit of moksha. And what kind of benefit it is? Nityat. From that benefit, which is eternal, which is not dependent on time. Everything else so far has been anitya. Moksha only is nityam. Therefore, from that nitya prayojanat, paramarthikat, purusharthat, this person is alienated. And for that, Shankaracharya is saying, prachyavate ityartha. Chew dhatu. Chew means to fall. To fall from that path, from that moksha marga. So that person is made to fall. Passive voice. Okay. Passive voice. So vimudaha prachyavate, hiyate, viyujyate, from this moksha margat. And okay, here vimudaha. Kaha asau. Asau kaha. Who is that person who gets separated like this? Yau preyo vrinite. Yau preyo vrinite. The one who chooses vrinite, preyaha. Shankaracharya says, Upadatte. Gopala Yatindra says, Anutishtati. One who, one who, one who takes to Preyo Marga. That person. It's all choose. Look at that free will. People ask, do we have free will or not? Hey, we obviously have free will. Very clear now. Kathopanishad is saying vrinite, vrinite. That word vru means to choose. To choose. So, human being has to choose. Moksha marga has to be chosen. We can't simply tell God, God, you know what is best for me, so do what is best for me. So it won't work. Okay. So here, vrinite, upadatte, iti etat, that is the purport of this mantra. That is how this mantra has to be understood. Like that, Shankaracharya is telling us. And so what did we learn from this? We learned that there are two margas called Shreya Marga and Preyo Marga. I'm going to repeat some of that because these are significant points. And there is a significant difference between these two. Prayers is what I'm used to all my life, and prayers is equal to dharma, artha, kama. Prayers involves the use of free will, okay, and to do karma and then pray. The benefit of prayers is also called prayers sometimes, and that benefit is karma phalam, the result of karma. And karma is finite, anityam, and therefore karma phalam is nityam. Therefore, this person will get disillusioned after some time and say, this is not helping me that much, even though I got all my artha and kama and dharma. And therefore, that person says, has Viveka Buddhi, uses the Viveka Buddhi and says, you know what, there has got to be something else. And thankfully, Shastram says there is something called Preyo Margaha. Okay? And that prayers is what? Shreyo Margaha. So we have to be careful, these children, these young parents naming their children. They're saying Shreyas, Shreyas, Shreyas. I'm going to be a little creative and then call the child Prayas. No, call your child Sanskrit is such a beautiful language, and then don't be creative. If you don't know Sanskrit, don't play around with these words. Ask somebody, Prayas, is it okay to name my child Prayas? Ask somebody. So, Shreyo Margaha, which is very different from Preyo Margaha. Why it's very different? Because prayers involves jnanam. It is no longer karma margaha. It is a recognition of what is. It is a recognition of the fullness of Atma, the nityatvam of Atma. Therefore, Preyo Marga is not going to involve karma. Okay. Why? Because karma basically comes from ajnanam. Whereas jnanam is what we are talking about here, and therefore this jnana marga, what is the phalam of jnanam? Jnana phalam cannot be karma phalam. Karma phalam is anityam. Jnana phalam is nityam, nityam moksha. And how did I get the nityam moksha? Did I create the infinite out of the finite? No, you did not create anything. Infinite cannot be created. The uncreated is infinite. Finite has to be uncreated. Otherwise, that possibility does not exist. And that is called Preya Margaha. That is also called Nivritti Margaha. This is called Pravritti Margaha, pursuit, positive pursuit, effort-based pursuit is called Pravritti Margaha. Jnanam-based Margaha is called Nivritti Margaha. Literal meaning means retreat. I am retreating from karma. And we also learned that this prayers and shreyas cannot be pursued by the same person at the same time. Why? Because this involves free will. This negates free will. Therefore, how can these two coexist? Shankaracharya says they don't coexist. Anyatara aparityagena yekena purushena na pravartate, na prayujyate. Okay? So, these are all seminal concepts. We will get a chance to review these things again and again. Okay. But Shankaracharya helps us understand this otherwise innocuous looking mantra, but it introduced the two words Shreyas and Prayas, which is going to be used in the next mantra also. So let's do the Anvaya of this mantra. Okay, this completes the Bhashyam. The summary of this mantra is what? There are two margas called Shreyas and Prayas, which are very different. The person who chooses Prayas is going to be separated from the Shreyas, which is the Marga which gives the most benefit. Nityam benefit, Paramarthika benefit, Paramarthika Prayojanat Hiyate. Okay, all that we saw. Good. That is a summary. And so let's do Anvaya here. Anyat, within brackets, Pruthak Eva Shreyaha, within brackets, Bhavati. Anyat पृथक एव श्रेयः भवति full stop. उत एव प्रेयः उत एव प्रेयः अन्यत् Uta eva preyaha anyat, within brackets, priyataram api bhavati, full stop. Priyataram api bhavati. Te ubhe nanarthe purusham sinitaha. Exactly as it is in the moolam. Te ubhe goes to. If you want, you can write within brackets. Shreyaf preyasi. Te ubhe shreyaf preyasi nanarthe purusham sinitaha. Tayoho, within brackets, madhye. Tayoho madhye. Yeah, madhye word is not Shankara's word. Okay, it's my word. Tayoho madhye, among those two. Typically, we use the word madhye for saying among. So that will be what? It is shashti tayoho, tasya tayoho tesham, and it's called nirdharane shashti. We said this earlier before. An example would be what? Rama Lakshmanayoho madhye Ramaha Jyeshtaha. Among Rama and Lakshmana, Rama is the elder one, older one. Okay. Tayoho madhye Shreyaha Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati. Exactly as in the Moolam. Full stop. Tayoho madhye Shreyaha Adadanasya Sadhu Bhavati. Full stop. Full stop. Yau Preyaha Vrinite. Yaha u Preyaha Vrinite. Comma, in brackets, saha, yau preyaha vrinite, saha, paramarthat hiyate, param within brackets, paramarthat hiyate. Or if you want to use the exact words of Shankara, paramarthikat purusharthat. That also you can say. So it's actually paramarthat, better to say this one. Paramarthikat purusharthat hiyate. That's better actually. Because those are Shankara's words. He does not use the word param. He says paramarthika. So better. Paramarthikat purusharthat hiyate. So last sentence is what? Yau preyaha vrinite saha paramarthikat purusharthat hiyate. Because if you just leave it at purusharthat, then you may get a question. From what purusharthat? So we'll use paramarthikat. Paramarthikat. Okay, I'm going to read this again. Anyat pritag eva shreyaha bhavati. Full stop. उत एव प्रेयः अन्यत् प्रियतरम् अपि भवति ते उभे नानार्थे पुरुषं सिनीतः फुल स्टॉप तयोः मध्ये श्रेयः आददानस्य साधु भवति फुल स्टॉप यौ प्रेयः वृणीते सः पारमार्थिकात् पुरुषार्थात् हीयते फुल स्टॉप
Guruji, could you kindly read the second one? Uta eva.
उत एव प्रेयः अन्यत् प्रियतरम् अपि भवति उत एव प्रेयः from the moolam अन्यत् First word in the moolam, then within brackets, priyataram api bhavati.
Thank you.
Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.